Hello, this is Sharona, and this is my podcast, Spiritual Sense. Today is Saturday, which is February, I want to say it's February the 19th. And in this podcast, it is a open social discussion in regards to occultism, supernatural, as well as paranormal. So I speak on topics in regards to astral projection or soul travel, angels, demons, spirit guides, spirit work, spirituality, pagan belief systems and practices, topics on hauntings, demonology, out-of-body experiences, and near-death experiences. And I also incorporate a daily tarot card reading into this podcast as well. So this podcast is on Spreaker.com. I also have the YouTube channel, which is on YouTube, entitled Spiritual Sense as well. And so now for those who may want to view in, with this podcast, I do have, on my YouTube channel, which is also entitled Spiritual Sense. I also have, previous, visual presentations on many of the topics that I've discussed. So my YouTube channel as well as my podcast are linked together. So you may not want to view in. You may just want to listen in, and you can do that as well. Okay. So I also like to state that this podcast is for entertainment purposes. And what that means is, if it's just so happen to coincide with what you believe or what you're dealing with, that may be by chance or even by happenstance, when you begin to, take note of the cycle of life, in terms of serendipity and synchronicity, some things are said without effort, in other words. So, when you begin to take on this newfound spirit, a knowing, you will see how things are simply being spoken out by way of, a mere message, okay? And we are vessels. Oftentimes if I go into my spits and my fits like anybody else, I'm human like the next person. It could be something that is medically related to it. Oftentimes many times people may want to put it on, something drug related or even alcohol related. I have been smoking a whole lot of cigarettes lately. And oftentimes that gets me a little bit anxious and antsy. But for the most part, I'm there. Okay. Many of times I am also visited by presences in regards to Black history, because this is Black History Month. And one of the things that has been weighing heavy on me for the last few months is the Tillman story, the story of what happened with him. And so a lot of that information, I feel like I'm channeling a lot of that information, like I'm able to tap into, that time and space to actually get, true revelation as to what occurred. Because, as we know, many things are socially appropriate. Many things are socially inappropriate. And to protect the identity and the integrity as well as the dignity of a lot of people, you don't want to display certain things in history. You don't want a lot of people to be influenced negatively in regards to what actually transpired during that time. And so, in essence, I wanted to know what actually transpired. Despite whatever, they're reporting in history or what they have written, and without probing too far into the situation, that's what I aspired to know about. And oftentimes I get visited and I get these visions and I get these images in my head to enlighten me as what occurred during those times. Okay, so we're going to start off with my prayer. And with my prayer, I say, Father, Supreme Being of all being, I'd like to thank you for waking me and my children up this morning. I also like to thank you for sending your guardian angels, protector angels, and spirit guides around to protect us and shield us from any injury, harm, or danger. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. So in regards to doing this reading, I ask for clarity, understanding, insight, and knowledge. As I do this reading, I don't know what this reading entails, but I do feel like it's a relevant reading. And so, let me proceed. So I also like to pay homage to, my Orishas. The Orishas that I favor are the Beset, Yemaya, Shango, and Osiris. You could call upon these Orishas in times of, I feel like it's infinite knowledge and capability and understanding when you call upon these Orishas to help guide you in everyday walks of life, okay? So we're going to proceed. I've already smudged the cards today. This morning, I am working with the Psychic Tarot deck cards, and let me proceed with pulling those cards. Now, we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so card 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then we have 1. So, card 1, I have the Triumphant card with the number 7 listed on here. So this is what the reading is on. Card 2, I have Conflict and Defeat. Card 3, I have, which is in the opposite direction, I have the Wisdom card is what I have right now. Card 5, I have, card 4, I have Accelerated Motion. Card 5, I have Prosperity Begins. And card 6, I have Partnerships and Alliances. So I feel like this reading is applicable to judgment, is what I feel. And prejudice, that type of judgment. Like you may have judgment in many aspects, but I feel like this is reading is in regard to prejudgment, meaning prejudice. That's what I feel. I feel like this reading is, and when I say prejudice, I'm not talking in terms of actual race. I'm talking about to prejudge a person based on a preconceived notion that may be perpetuated by race. Okay? Personal is what I'm getting at. Like we all give judgment. I mean, that's common. We all have, a judge of character. We all do that. If we feel as though somebody may be a threat, then we may not indulge so much information to them. Or, if we feel like somebody is not appropriate for certain things, then we may not, let them in on certain things. Okay, so this is what I'm speaking about in terms of that type of prejudice, like to prejudge. This reading is in regards to prejudgment in terms of intellect. It's what I feel, because I do have the wisdom card, which is turned in the opposite position, and I feel like because I do have the partnership and alliances card, I feel as though this is confirmation based on something that I had spoke previously with a family member in regards to why you are put in certain situations and put around certain people. And I feel like it's because of prejudgment. When you begin to judge people and think that they are less than or even more than what they truly are, you will begin to see how mockery and those mocking spirits will come about to inform you to the contrary. And I think that's what contrast comes into place, like black versus white, right versus wrong, good versus bad. And when we do these things, oftentimes it lets in a lot of spirits, mocking, taunting spirits, because it's to mock that intellect, that thought process, that mentality. And when you have that mentality, those spirits will come in to inform you to the contrary. This is your reality. This is what you think, and this is how you feel if you allow it to be as such. And so that's why you have mental concerns and things of that nature that may come into place to enlighten you of that. Don't believe everything that presents to you, because everything is not what it seems to be. So you have to be the one to have the level head to see above the chaos. You have to be the one that is able to see above and see it all. Okay? But as I mentioned, I have, card 2, conflict and defeat, as the hindrance. So when you are someone that thinks as such, that is your hindrance. Like you will be contained to that way of thinking and that way of being. So again, you will be contained to that way of being. Card 7, I have triumphant success, which is what we're doing the reading on. So that is to let me know that in order to be successful, oftentimes we have to have an open mind. Be able to see clearly and ask God for clarity, understanding, and insight as to what I am actually experiencing. And He will bring it into focus for you. He will. Card 8, intuition. So this is your intuition. This is your intuition. And as I mentioned, the cards are going to lay as they may. This is your intuition coming into place. This is your imagination. Okay? This is your intuition coming into focus for you. You will begin to see it manifest in the physical aspect of it all. And the mere people that you see are being guided by spirits, whether it be favorably or unfavorably. And once the eyes has been opened and you are able to understand that, God will put it all into focus for you. Like the brain is engaged in a totally different manner when He is giving you revelation about something. Card 9, which is the Hopes, Fears, and Dreams card. Choose wisely. So basically what that is He wants you to make a wise decision and choices when it comes to things that He gives to you. He don't want you to do anything foolish, because in essence you're making. In essence, you will make it appear as though the information that He presents to you is erroneous or faulty. Okay, so if you ask for his guidance, he's going to give it to you with truth and honor, and he's going to have it in sync for you. Everything is going to fall in line and fall in sync with him if you ask him to come in and to guide you and to continue to do the things that is in essence to him, and in respects and honor to God, the supreme being of all being. And you will see how things will fall into alignment and fall into place for you once you do that. Card 10, outcome trapped in fear. So he don't want you to be trapped in fear. He can understand that, there may be some insecurities when you do call upon him to assist you and guide you. But that's all in essence. It's a setup in order for you can understand and recognize divine order. So, give me just a moment. I'm going to pull out my angelic cards. Oh, it's 2 cards. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scramble my cards and I'm gonna pick 2 cards, one from the top and one from the bottom, and to help recap on this reading. I feel like this was a spiritually, I feel like this was a insightful reading is what I'm getting at. That's what I feel. I feel like it's an insightful reading. Okay, so I have one from the bottom, one from the top. And we're going to... Okay, so it says compassion. Archangel Zachiel, soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So we are wanting to have a little bit more compassion with people. We don't want to we don't want to judge people, is the point. Okay? I feel as though, as I mentioned, this reading is in regards to prejudice. It's in regards to, prejudging people or what have you. You cannot do that. You cannot take everything that you see as face value. You cannot. And so once God has opened your eyes and make you aware of how life truly works, then you'll begin to understand things and such. Divine order, as I mentioned before, Archangel Raphael, everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlying order, and that's exactly what it is. Things going to come into focus and come into place for you, and once it does that, then and only then will you understand why the things transpire as such. Some things just happen to have happened, but it is being guided under the forces of spirits. Some things are done without, it's just the spirit that's within the person. Regardless of how you could try to change it, manipulate it, you could pray it away, and those things do work. But some, many things work under the guidance of a spirit. You can't change, as they say, a leopard can't change its spots. It's simply what it is. And so that's God making you aware of how he can even fool the lepers, even the ones that cannot change their spots. I place these things in life for a reason. It's the point. Okay? So I do think that was a very insightful reading. And I'm going to close out this podcast of this episode of the Daily Reading for today. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. Until then, you have a safe and wonderful day and good day.